Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of history. Today we are going to read about the national movement. Topic is the Muslim League. Okay, now the growth of communalisms. The Hindus and the Muslims had lived together in India for centuries. They had developed some common ways of life since both of the communities were exploited by the British. They fought together during the First War of Independence in 1857, and such unity between the two communities posed a danger for imperialisms, for British imperialisms. So as we know that Muslims and Hindus, they lived together in India. They fought the First World War together, but their unity became danger for the Britishers. So what they had done, they tried to make some dispute between these two religion, and a communal fight starts. So the uprising of the 1857 made the British realize that they had to divide the communities in order to prolong their rule in India. They therefore tried to sow the seeds of discord the, between them to check the rising tide of nationalism. So what they had done, they made an dispute between these two religions, and now they started fighting with each other. They dubbed the national movement or the movement for establishing the Hindu kingdom in India and encouraged the Muslims to set up their own separate political organization. It was the British policy of divide and rule that led the rise of communal trend, and later on in the 1906, the first time that due to that communal trend, Muslim League was formed in 1906. What was the factor that promoting the formation of the national movement of Muslim League? First was the loss of sovereignty by the Mughal ruler. The British established their supremacy in India after dethroning the Mughals rulers who were the follower of Islam. Therefore, the Muslims became bitter enemies of the Britishers. This was the main reason why Muslims became made their league, because they were already the enemy of the Britishers, because they dethroned the last Mughal emperor the who was a Muslim. Then they participated in the Wahhabi movement, which aimed to the end of the British domination in India. They also took part in uprising in 1857. This made the British view their suspicions. Now, British policy of divide and rule, as we have already discussed, or we know about the First World War of Independence in 1857, the British became apprehensive of the safety of the stability and their empire in India. They knew it very well that if they do not divide Hindus and Muslims, they cannot survive in India. So in 1871, Lord Mayo's government adopted the revolution, which made Urdu the medium of instruction for the Muslims in a primary and secondary school, and increased the government and to educational institutes run by the Muslims. Then they tried to create a hatred among the Hindus and Muslims by portraying Muslim rulers as a plunderers and Hindu rulers as a cruel king to their Muslim subjects. So in one hand they used to say the Muslims were the dominator, and in the other part they tried to utilize the caste structure to turn the non-Brahmins and the lower caste against high caste. They also treated Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs as in separate communities. They always try to say that you are the other communities, you are residing from the other communities, you are not Indians. So they used to try to make the hatred policies against these communities, especially the Indian Muslims and Hindus. Then they tried to spread communal hatred through the press, through the posters, and through the literature and public platform. Relative backwardness of the Muslim community in education, trade, and industries. The communal and the separatist trend of thinking the growing of the Muslim of some extent because of their relative backwardness in education, trade, and industries, like the upper class Muslims comprising zamindars and aristocrats during the first 70 years of the 19th century were anti-British. They were conservative and hostile in modern education. Because of this, the number of Muslim educated in Western system of education remained small, because last 70 years they were very orthodox. Then the British government in India had consciously discriminated against the Muslims after 1858, holding them responsible for the uprising in 1857. They were discriminated in recruitment to the civil and military services. The Muslim community was not much involved in the growth of any organized industries. They also had no lag, they are very lagged behind. Some of the Muslim community did not keep up with the modern trends in a social and cultural sphere because they were very orthodox. So this was because they were proud of their own literature, own culture, and did not adopt the Western system of education. Many of the Hindus, on the other hand, adopted the Western system of education, since modern education was essential for entry into the government service. The Muslims had the disadvantage in this respect. Fourth was the role of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a great educationist and a social reformer. He regarded Hindus and the Muslims to be one qawm, that is, a nation. He founded the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh, which had both Hindu and Muslim patrons. However, under the influence of the British principle of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1880s, he gave up his earlier views and declared that the political interests of Hindus and Muslims were different. When the Indian National Congress was founded, the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan opposed it. He founded the United Indian Patriotic Association in 1888, mainly with the view to oppose the Congress. In this effort, he is supported by Mr. Beck, the British principal of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental Mao College, Aligarh. Beck's idea was that Anglo-Muslim unity was possible while Hindu-Muslim unity was impossible. He said that Anglo-Muslim unity is possible instead of Hindu-Muslim unity. It was said that Sir Syed Ahmad believed that since the Hindus formed the majority of Indian population, they would dominate the Muslim in case of withdrawal of the British rule. He felt that the continuance of the British rule was a guarantee for the welfare for the Muslims. Enormous interpretation history, the manner in which the Indian history was interpreted in those days contributed in the growth of communal thinking among the Hindus. Some British and communal historians divided Indian history and Hindus and the Muslim periods. The rules of Turks, Afghan and Mughals was called the Muslim rule. Second was the British communal historian ignored the notion of composite culture in India and tried to create a rift between the two communities. And some communal historian highlighted the myth that Indian society and culture has reached their heights during the medieval period, which was dominated by the Mughal ruler. So that's all for today's session. We will continue this chapter in our next session. Till then, read this chapter, follow the video, and take care of your health.